Which ones do you use? David Wolf's Superfood book. Fantastic. Who here went to David Wolf's presentation earlier this year? Alright, so David Wolf is my inspiration for getting into superfoods. A bit of background about myself. I'm a personal trainer and a health consultant. I've been working in the industry for about 7 years and I've seen hundreds of clients, and I noticed one trend that when it came to nutrition, everybody wanted to eat better, but nobody had the time to eat better. It was always hard to be organized, to eat your 3 or 4 meals on time and to make sure that you're getting the right amount of macronutrients into your diet based on your body type, because we know certain foods are good for some people but not for others. So I found that a challenge with most of my clients until I discovered superfoods, which were like God sent to me because they simplify food. And that's what we're about here. We're about showing you ways of getting maximum nutrition into your body in about 5 minutes. Who would like to know how to do that? Excellent. So stick around and I'll get started in about a minute. Food, which is a company dedicated to spreading the word about the benefits of superfood and how you can incorporate it into your daily diet while having fun. So having fun is really important when it comes to playing with superfoods. And I'm just going to show you some of the recipes that I've been able to come up with, just playing around in the kitchen, okay? Now with the recipes, you don't have to stick to them 100%, they're just some ideas of things that you can do. And then I'll get to taste it and hopefully you'll all like it, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to start, we need a blender. I prefer the Vitamix blender. There are a lot of good blenders out on the market. Whatever blender you have is a good starting point. And once you get into the routine of using superfoods more and more, you might want to upgrade to a more powerful blender, okay? So I'm going to use the Vitamix blender to make my, it's going to be a coffee substitute smoothie. So everybody likes their coffee in the morning. There are some mixed ideas about coffee. Some people say it's good, some people say it's not. So what I'm going to do is we're going to make something that's going to taste like coffee for those people who want to maybe reduce their coffee intake or want to give it up altogether. Okay? So what I've got in this jar, funny looking jar, I've got some green tea and goji berries. So we know goji berries are a superfood. They're high in antioxidants and they're high in amino acids. And the tea that I use today is a green tea called gynostemma. It comes from the south of China and is known to be the southern ginseng. So it's pretty much up there with ginseng. It's a tonic herb and it plays many different roles in the body. Okay, so I'm going to use 2 liters of, about 1.5 liters of tea. Now this tea is a little bit warm, which is going to make it feel and taste a bit like a coffee. Now you don't need to have a warm tea, you can make it with an iced tea or a cold tea. So the tea is a little bit better, bitter, and by adding a little bit of goji berries, just sweeten it up a little bit. Goji berries is great to add into any tea that you like. Just add a little bit. This way you don't have to put any sugar in there. With fruit is that as soon as you take it, your body uses it up, and within an hour or 2 later, you start to crash, and you start to get tired, and you start to crave more food. Okay? So I'm going to make this in such a way that it's got high amounts of protein and fat, so that your blood sugar is very consistent throughout the day, or at least for about 3-4 hours until lunchtime. So if you do this first thing in the morning, by the time lunchtime comes around the corner, you won't be too hungry. Alright, so the fat of choice that I'm going to add in today is coconut oil. Who here has heard about coconut oil, the benefits of coconut oil? Coconut oil is fantastic. It's actually great for weight loss. A lot of people say, fat and weight loss, how does that work? A lot of studies have shown that if you eat the good fats, it helps you burn off the bad fats in your body. Okay, there's a great book written by Sally Fallon called Eat Fat, Lose Fat. I recommend everybody get a copy of it and read it. Okay? So the bad fats are the fats that have been denatured, the trans fats. Some fats do well with high temperatures, some fats don't. Coconut oil is a fantastic fat to cook in because it can handle the heat. Okay? Olive oil can't, so you want to make sure when you use your olive oil, you don't heat it up too much, okay? Because it goes rancid. So we've got some coconut oil, we've got our tea in here. And what I'm going to add in, I'm going to add about 1.5 cups of cashews. Now you said you use almond milk. Pretty much what we're going to do now is we're going to make a cashew milk. Cashews are high in protein and fat, and it's going to give you that bulking factor so you don't feel hungry after consuming this smoothie, okay? I'm just going to add all that in. And I'm going to start by blending this, which is going to turn my tea into a nut milk. Alright. As you can hear, it's a very powerful blender. So this is not really called a smoothie, it's called an elixir. It's just another level above a smoothie, because what you can do with an elixir is you can add your medicine in, you can add your favourite herbs, your favourite spices. If you're taking, let's say, reishi mushroom extract, you can just grab your peel, open it in there. Anything that you don't really like taking, you can add it to your smoothie and hide it with the other flavours. Okay, so it's really good for mums to sneak in some good nutrition for the kids, because they think it's going to taste like a milkshake, which it does. And then if you want to put some immune boosting herbs in there, you can sneak it in. Got the drums going now. Alright, so what I'm going to add in, I'm going to add in some of the superfoods that we have in here. So the first one that I'm going to add in is maca, spelled M-A-C-A, which we have over here. Okay, so maca, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons. So maca is a really good hormonal food. It balances out your hormones, and it's especially good for women. Okay, so it gives you a lot of energy, balances out around that time of the month. I've had a lot of clients who had trouble around that time of the month, and they consume maca for a while, and then everything clears out. Okay, so it's really good for that. It gives you a lot of energy. It helps oxygenate the body a bit more. And it's great for men because it also helps boost healthy testosterone levels. Okay, so it's an aphrodisiac if you consume in moderation. Alright? The next thing we're going to add in is mesquite powder. So mesquite is a pod that gets powdered down, and it's pretty much like a flour, but it's pretty sweet and it's got a caramel flavour to it. And what this does, this is very high in natural calcium and zinc. Now the problem with calcium, a lot of the calcium supplements on the market are actually made from a calcium that your body cannot absorb. And if you consume a calcium, let's say that comes from a rock, that your body does not know what to do, it just goes around your joints and calcifies your joints, and it makes things a little bit harder for your body. Okay? So what kills us in the end is too much calcium in our body. Okay, so by moving your joints, by exercising, and by consuming a calcium that's from a natural source, you have a better chance of your body absorbing that calcium and using it. Okay, so everybody knows that calcium is good for bones, but what they don't know is what kind of calcium. So make sure that you get your calcium from the food source. Green leafy vegetables have a lot of good calcium in them as well. Okay? Now what we're going to add in is one of my favourite ingredients, which is cacao, which is pretty much chocolate powder. Now the problem with most chocolates on the market is that they're not the real deal. This is an organic form, 100% cacao bean, powdered down into something that you can use into your smoothie, into your baking. And the properties of cacao are numerous. Cacao is the most chemically complicated or complex food available, which means it's got a lot of benefits. But to name just a few, it's high in magnesium. Magnesium is really good for your muscles to relax. It's really good for the heart because our hearts work on magnesium. So when people are not feeling too good, when they have chocolate, they feel better. There's actually a reason for that because the heart sucks up all that magnesium. And it's the highest antioxidant food known. So everybody these days talks about antioxidants and the importance of antioxidants. So by consuming cacao, you're ensuring that you're getting your antioxidant hit every day. Okay? Now what I'm going to add in as well is a little bit of cinnamon, so we're going to make it taste a little bit like a chai. So I'll add about half a teaspoon. And I'm going to add in this is called dandelion blend. It's got dandelion and some other non-gluten containing grains, and this has got a coffee kind of taste to it. Okay, so this is what's going to make our drink taste more like coffee. So we're going to add about maybe 3 teaspoons of this. As you can see, I don't follow a particular recipe, so just play with it and have fun. And if you don't like the flavour, add something else, and you'll come to notice what flavours you like. And I'm going to add a little bit of salt, so a pinch of sea salt. Now salt is really good because it helps bring all the flavours together, because we're using lots of different flavours, so salt just combines it all really nicely. I'm going to blend this, and then I'm going to add my sweetener. Alright. So I'm going to start really slow so it doesn't overflow. As you can see, it's turning into like a hot chocolate. Alright, so now we've added all our superfoods in, and you can throw in, like I said, whatever superfoods you fancy, or whatever herbs you like. We've got some protein powder here as well, so if you're going to the gym and you want to get some protein in there, you can add it in as well. Right, so now to sweeten this up, I'm going to use a little bit of honey and a little bit of stevia, which was given to me by my friend in the back row over there. Thank you for that. So stevia, who's heard about stevia? Excellent. Who uses stevia?
I do.
Excellent. You like it? Awesome. So stevia is a non-glycemic sweetener for so people who have trouble with too much sugar, people who are diabetic, people who are trying to lose weight, probably want to avoid too much sweet food. And stevia is about 500 times sweeter than sugar. So all you need is about a couple of drops. Alright, so I'm adding this in. Now as you notice, you make a mess in the kitchen. One of my chef friends told me, if you don't make a mess in the kitchen, you're not making a good dish. Alright, so I'm going to add about 5 drops of stevia in here. Maybe 4, it's strong. Because I know your stuff is really good. And the last ingredient, which is going to make it even better, I'm going to add a whole vanilla bean. Now this blender is very powerful, so it's going to blend this, not a problem. But if you don't have a strong blender, you might want to just take the seeds out and put them in here. So we're going to have a vanilla, chocolate, cinnamon, caramel tasting drink. Nobody wants to try? Excellent. Alright.